Hey, Frankfurt. It's Dr. Delicia Haynes, along with my siblings, the Haynes kids. So we just want to take some time to introduce you to our father. So we know that you may know him as an Olympian. You may know him as Major Haynes. Maybe you know him as Deacon Haynes. A lot of you know him as Coach Haynes. Some of you may know him as a business owner, as a 3-time city commissioner, and hopefully all of us will know him soon as the next mayor of Frankfort, Kentucky. But we want to take a moment to just introduce you to him and his most profound role, we think, which is that of being a father. So I have a couple of questions for my siblings, and that is, what are some areas where Dad's leadership and guidance have made an impact in your life? And we'll start off with his namesake and the big brother, Tommy.
Yeah, I'd say my dad has definitely helped me out with his leadership and guidance throughout my life. And right offhand, just coming out of high school, getting ready to go into my next phase of life, not really knowing what I wanted to do. I'd come up in a military background because we had moved a lot throughout my years. And I knew I didn't want to go into college not knowing what I wanted to do. So I looked at going into the military, and that's what I did. And I had full support of my father and mother. And I learned from him about service, and I continued to serve after the military, going into the church. And that was one thing I could definitely tell about Dad. He was always into helping others and for everyone to do their part in helping one another.
Thank you, Tommy. So Omar, also known as Gabriel Haynes, but that's not what we call him. So, what are some areas where Dad's leadership has impacted your life?
Yeah, there's so many. One of the things I remember as a young child is we were taking a vacation at Atlantic City. And I remember as we were heading towards the beach, there was a man that seemed to be a little down on his luck from appearance sakes that was walking around talking to multiple people. And he stepped in the street, almost getting hit by a car, and caused him to stumble back and fall. And as he lay on the ground, I noticed people were walking around him. And my dad actually walked over to the man and reached down and helped the man up. There was words exchanged. I couldn't tell what they were since my father was at a distance. But I could tell from the man's demeanor that he was very pleased. He had a huge smile on his face and seemed to be genuinely gratified towards my dad. And that just stuck in my mind why my father was the one to go over there and lend a helping hand, where there were so many other people that were walking by that didn't. And there's other things that I could tell you about that just go on to show you the heart that he has for people. My father always taught us faith, family, and friends. And he's never been in a room of strangers. It seems he's always made himself available to people, even to me. I was raising 2 children as a single parent. There's challenges that come with that. I was away from my family and didn't really have family around. I recall at times in which my father would fly down from Frankfort to Alabama, where I stay, in order to watch the children for me while I had to go out of town for business trips. And he was pleased to do so, and they were very pleased to have him come down. But he always had a heart to take care of his family. He had a heart to take care of his community. That's the kind of person that he is.
Thank you, Omar. So for me, my fondest memories are when I was like in the 2nd grade and I was like sitting in my twin bed and he'd be laying there with his legs crossed and his arms behind his head. And I'd be talking about like the trials and tribulations of being a 2nd grader. And he would just listen. And then he would kind of tell his stories. So I loved that. But I think the most impactful time was probably my senior year. So we moved to Frankfort my senior year of high school. I was a senior at Western Hills High School. My sister was at Bondurant. And during that move, I actually became after that move, I became severely depressed to the point of becoming suicidal. And my teacher, Mrs. Bowker, she noticed my writing and she noticed that I, started to write. It would be better if I wasn't here. And I didn't know what depression was. So I didn't know what was happening. And she pulled me out of someone's room and then invited my dad to come down to the high school. And I vividly remember us sitting in Mrs. Bowker's room at the little, school desks. And that, I didn't know how he was going to react. And he just, there was no shame. There was no judgment. It was all about finding a solution, whether that solution was me moving back to Maryland where we'd come from, or, staying. And I did, I decided to stay. And when track season came around, he became a coach and he remained the coach for about 6 years. And, just always was involved. He'd be out there doing drills and jumping into the sand in a 3-piece suit. And when I, went on and went to college and then went to medical school and started my own business, I could always count on him when I was trying to find out, like with management situations, how I should approach different things. He was one of the first people to do total quality management in the military. And he's just always such a great team leader and has really helped me in that space of being able to know, how to help my team consistently progress and, know when I need to push them and when I need to kind of like calm down and hold back. So he's just always been a really great listener, and it's so great to be able to grow up with your role model. So Carmen, same question. So let us know some areas that Dad's leadership and guidance have impacted your life.
My dad has always had this superpower of being able to walk into a room and a crowd of strangers, and no matter what, anytime he leaves, whoever was in that room that met him feels so much better. And he's done that my entire life. He's always met people at gas stations. He can hold a conversation with them, no matter how bad you're feeling at that time. He has a way of listening and comforting you, and then afterwards, you just kind of feel better. So it's helped me in life, parenting. It's helped me in school, and recently it's helped me in nursing with a lot of stuff going on the floor. I've noticed that your positivity carries over into your teammates and to your patients. So I've kind of taken what he's taught me my entire life and applied that in those areas, and I've seen, amazing results. So I can't speak enough positively about my dad and how great he is, but I'm so great that I have him as a father.
Awesome. So we hope that just gives you a little, insight, not only to who our father is as a politician, but more importantly, who he is as a man. And so we do ask for your vote on November 3rd to vote for positive change with Tommy Haynes. Thanks. Bye.